Cool.
Cool.
Oh, can I get you guys to talk real quick?
Yeah. Hello.
Like ABCs?
Testing.
ABC, one,
One,
two,
two,
three.
three.
Okay.
Baby, you and me, girl.
That should be good. Yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Should we say hi, senior girls together? And then
We
start
could,
with them?
yeah, that'd be cute.
yeah, say your say your names.
Hi, senior
Hi, senior
girls. My name's Whitney,
And I'm Rachel.
and we went on the senior women's retreat last year, and we thought that we'd share a little bit about our experiences. Did you like the senior retreat, Rachel?
I thought it was absolutely wonderful. It was like a weekend out of time, just sort of separated from school life, from stress, and it was so low key, so chill, just relaxing.
I think it came at the perfect time. It was
Yeah.
second semester when we were ready to leave and we weren't sure how relationships were going at the very end, but in my opinion, I thought it was cool going, and I didn't really know any of my friends that were going, so I was nervous, but it was cool to get to know a lot of the senior girls, even the last few weeks of school, and getting to see their passion and hearing their testimonies, and it was neat to see how all of that shaped us. I also liked the RDs and how they each spoke, and it was kind of sad that we got to know them the last
So
few weeks
late.
of school, but they have amazing testimonies, and I feel like they taught us so much about how to prepare to go out into the real world and what things we need to do, I guess,
Yeah.
to stay Christians.
The woman who led the retreat for us, that was probably one of my favorite parts. Just it was the RDs and then also some other women who came along, and their testimonies were just amazing. I thought it was so cool how they were all kind of at different walks of life, and they all had a different story to share. And you know, who knows where our paths will lead us. But we heard about hardships. We heard about good things. We heard about how life will be different after college. We heard about singleness and about sex and about all sorts of things that just, you know, you wonder about. But to have these strong Christian women who are following God, walking in the faith, just mentor you, just that concentrated dose. It was like a concentrated dose of mentorship that I felt like I never had really had before. It was really wonderful.
I love looking back on the experience and seeing how God was throughout the whole weekend and how we had a perfect amount of time for ourselves to reflect on what they talked about and getting to do crafts together and just hanging out. And it was in a beautiful area too. So I'll never
So
forget
beautiful. Yeah, I think, like you said, just the amount of personal reflection, and you could really tell that they were caring for us that weekend. That was what it was about. It was about caring for us, and it was about getting to know us, even though it was that last semester. I felt so loved by these women and my fellow classmates who I hadn't really known before.
Did you guys feel like when you left that there was any particular interactions with students that were meaningful along the way, like conversations or?
I think some of the best conversations weren't even really there. I remember having the best conversations on the drive up and the drive back, which was a few hours, so you had that time to really interact and you were in a car together. So
Same
that
here.
was kind of cool
Yeah,
to get to go on a road trip together in the middle of the semester.
definitely. I feel like I got to go with my roommates, which was absolutely wonderful. It was like kind of our last hurrah, if you will. And it was great to be able to talk with them more and to be able to talk with other friends. But I also remember specifically one conversation. We were all sitting around relaxing, and my roommates and I were stuffed on a love seat, and then Don McAllister came, plopped down next to us, didn't really know any of us very well, but just, I had one of the best conversations I've ever had in my life. And we spent like an hour and a half talking just about being where God plants you and just seeking Him. It was wonderful. So unexpected and just wonderful.
It was cool to see all the girls interacting with each other and splitting away from their normal friend groups to even play games and to go on walks and all that. It was really neat.
Yeah.
So we definitely recommend the women's retreat. You should go on it.
Should.
Good stuff. Briefly talk about like spiritual value of the retreat.
For me, the retreat really, it actually, eventually, down the road after the retreat, led to some significant changes in my life. And I think part of that was, a big part of that was the testimony of the women. And the conversations in the cars, like we were talking about. I think that the weekend and the conversations that were started over the weekend started us thinking on new lines and thinking about how our lives could change. For me, it was very impactful. It contributed to a very significant change. So
Yeah, it helped with stresses a lot. I think as we were talking on the way up to the retreat, we were talking about, oh, the school year's almost over, like we have to start looking for jobs, or if we have started looking for jobs, we haven't found anything yet. And by the end of the retreat, I think I felt at peace, and I felt like God was a part of it, and He had a plan, and we didn't need to worry about it. And they taught us so many helpful values that I didn't even think of before the retreat, about finances and budgeting and loans and just going out into the real world with our faith, and it was really neat.
And then final thing, did you guys think about, like after the retreat, was there one topic, and this can be specific if you want it to, that you really gained from, and that like this was a takeaway from this specific topic, or I remember leaving with this quote, or learning, wow, I really need to focus on this?
I think when I look back at it, the first thing I remember is just how in awe I was of the RDs and how real they were about their life. And instead of seeing the strict side of them, which we see often, we got to see who they really were. And I gained a lot from the conversations that we had about, again, how we can take our faith from Olivet and bring it out into the real world with all of the other sins that are going on. Like we talked about alcohol, we talked about just making some people making bad decisions out there in the real world, which we all do, but to be able to talk about our faith with those topics. It's difficult to talk to somebody who loves to drink and be able to say, well, this is why I chose not to, but it's not that it's a sin. Well, it is a sin if you overdrink. And so just to hear the RDs talk about topics like that and to show us this is a good way to address it in the real world was really cool.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that side of them.
Yeah, it was a different perspective of them. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing that stuck with me was, I can't remember who was talking, but they talked about making friends after college, a very practical concern, and how it's different. It's very different from making friends in college because as freshmen we're thrust together in this dorm situation, and that community like blossoms very quickly. And it's very strong. It's a very strong community, but relationships are different after school. I think some can still be like that, but it was good to just be made aware at that point, like, oh yeah, it's not going to be like this, but that's okay. It's going to be different, but okay. And it's just going to be, the next challenge, the next step.
Yeah, and to make friends in the real world, the best place to start is church.
Yeah.
And to find a church community that you can get involved in, and don't just give one Sunday a chance. Like, try to stick your feet in and get to know the people.
Well, thank you guys. That gives us a lot of material to work with. I appreciate it.
Good.
Good.
It's good stuff. Thank you, Erin.
Yeah.